All right, a couple of weeks ago, I did a first ever on YouTube review of this knife from Schrade, the SCHF57, and did really well except for one of the components of the test. So what we got this week is a very similar knife, but a lot smaller. It's the SCHF57. Coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, if you saw the video on the SCHF59, you recall that it did really well, except for one factor of the test, which it then comes with a ferro rod attachment on the sheath, and it just didn't do a really good job of striking the ferro rod. We're going to address that again in a minute because some people made some suggestions, so thought this would be a good opportunity to try it. But today we've got the SCHF57. And once again, I believe this is the very first time this knife has been seen on YouTube. I think I got the very first copy review sample that was sent out. Thanks to the folks at Schrade, by the way, for sending me this and all the knives so I can show them to you. So without a lot of further rambling, let's take a quick look at the specs on this and we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. And I'll tell you why, what I think is cool about this knife, and we'll see if it passes the fire test. Okay, once again, this is the Schrade SCHF57. This knife features a 2.6-inch drop point blade of 65 Mn high carbon steel, G10 handles, a lanyard hole, an overall length of 6.3 inches, and a weight of just 4 ounces. It comes with a thermoplastic belt sheath with an available ferro rod attachment. Just to give you a quick comparison on the size, this is the SCHF59, which is the knife we looked at a couple of weeks ago. This is the 57. So you can see it's a lot smaller, significantly smaller. And this is really, in my opinion, a really good neck knife size, or even a reasonably small survival kit. It weighs like 4 ounces. This sheath weighs virtually nothing, and yet it's got a pretty good size grip on it. Pretty comfortable, actually. You're gonna, at least for me, I'm gonna have a little pinky hang off here, but for a small knife, this could be a very capable thing. So we're going to see how capable it is in just a minute. I like the sheath. It's got very good retention. Snaps in really well. Again, could you shake it out? Probably so. But also comes with this optional. I believe this is an option. It's not necessarily comes with the knife, but it screws on with Phillips head screws. And it's a ferro rod holder with one of these Schrade ferro rods, which I really like. I've said that before. And the other thing about this particular sheath is, because of the way it's attached, you can make it ambidextrous. Just move this around, turn on the other side, because it's symmetrical on either side. So that's another good benefit for this kind of sheath. You can also turn this thing sideways and make it scout carry if you prefer to do so. The holes are spaced out so that you got a couple of different options, and I just think that is an idea whose time has come to Schrade. I'm glad to see they finally really started giving you some different options and choices, and just ways to kind of customize your knife, so, or at least your carry system. So anyway, not only was that rambling, it was just incoherent rambling almost. So let's get down to the stump top and try some knife stuff with this. Okay, first of all, this is the 57, the one we're looking at today, but this is the one we looked at last time, the 59. And I just want to go ahead and try to, had some suggestions to try the choil, which this is just an actual choil. This basically is just for sharpening. It gives you an edge that runs all the way up so you can actually sharpen the very edge of it. But somebody said to try that for the ferro rod. It looked like it might be a place to do it. We're going to try that and see if that works. I don't like doing that because that puts the edge of this knife, the sharp edge, close to your flesh where you could be cut. I don't like doing that. We're going to try it and see. So it seems to work pretty good. You could even do it like that maybe, and okay, so apparently that will work. I really don't think that's where it's designed to be used though, in my opinion. Okay, but anyway, it's just a response to some comments some people have made on the video for this knife. Set you out of the way now. We're going to take a look at the 57. This is a small knife. As you can see, it kind of fits in my hand, so I think it would be a good choice for a survival kit style knife. I got a piece of pretty dry solid wood here. We're just gonna see if we can split that down a little bit. And we'll just do it old school. Put a little pressure on the knife, see what happens. And then we'll go ahead and baton that down a little bit, just because, why not, right? Now, we're gonna try, this is not feathering wood in my opinion. It's very, very springy. I think it is, it's like oak. It's got a lot of grain, rough grain. We'll see if this thing can carve some feathers on here. And I can tell you, the edge is pretty good on it. It's cutting through really well. This 65 Mn steel is high carbon steel. It's pretty decent steel actually. It's probably not the most widely known steel, but I think it's pretty good stuff. Okay, so I got a piece of poplar here. I know this is poplar. I've been carving on this one before, and it seems to do a little better on feathers. So we're going to try to make some little smaller curls here and see if we can get a fire going, because in my opinion, the ability to make fire is one of the most important skills and or abilities to have in any kind of survival or outdoor situation. Okay, so we got a nice little pile here. Pretty cool little curls. So pretty decent job on the shaving. Let's see if this thing will make some sparks. I can tell you that, again, this spine does not feel very sharp to me. We're going to see. And it does not have a choil to speak of like the other one. Very, very little. It's got enough to keep it, to sharpen it, but not really very pronounced. But let's just see if I can find somewhere on this thing. Let me scrape the paint off of it first. And it's not putting out any sparks really. So this here is the closest thing to a choil, and let's just see what happens there. Okay, so we got a fire going, but if you look at the edge here, you can see that it's almost kind of using the cutting surface itself right there. Not my favorite way of doing things. So, in my opinion, they need to work on the spine on this knife like they did on the 59, because I don't like using having the cutting edge in that closer proximity to my finger. Okay, so we verified that this thing carves pretty well. Needs a little work on the spine for the striking of a ferro rod, but I like the fact it feels really good in your hand, and it feels really well balanced. But I only know of one, industry standard way to check that. All right, well, that was the full gamut of testing on the brand new SCHF57 from Schrade. And again, I think this would be an excellent knife for a small survival kit, or maybe even a neck knife. The only thing that I think needs to happen is the spine needs to be a little sharper. Could be the coating. I've tried, as the coating wears off, sometimes these things get sharper, but I'd like to see it just out of the box, ready to strike a ferro rod. A little file or a stone or anything like that, a Dremel, you certainly can clean that up and make it just absolutely work fine. I would like to see it, come that way from the factory. But not a deal breaker. More knives are excellent knives, and they don't, you have to do something to them too to get them to strike a ferro rod. So, but on a knife that comes, like I said on the 59, a knife that comes with, or at least with an option for an attached ferro rod, I think you should be able to strike it somewhere other than right next to the cutting surface. So, but if this thing is priced as competitively as a lot of Schrades, I think that would not stop me from buying this, because I just really like the way it feels. I think for a small knife like this, this handle is perfect. It's got just enough of a swell to it, and it feels really good in your hand. Not a lot of aggressive jimping there. There's some jimping, but I can't even really notice it. It's definitely not detracting from the knife. I like the little finger cut out there. Just a very comfortable feeling little knife, and for working it, your thumb just rests naturally right in there if you're doing it. If you like, you know, putting your thumb behind the spine. If not, you can just hold it like this. But altogether, I would give this one a pretty high marks. I like the little knife. If you like it, you may have to sharpen the spine up, unless Schrade does something about that. But even if they don't, I think it's still a pretty cool knife. And that is the SCHF57. You saw it first here on Survival on Purpose. Thanks to the folks for Schrade that's sending me this before anybody else so I can show it to you. And thank you as always for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for watching all those ads. Thanks for doing all your Amazon shopping on the Survival on Purpose links. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate your support. Oh, don't forget to check out my Instagram. There'll be a link below. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident. So be prepared, and I'll see you next time. If you saw the last video, if you saw the video, okay, so I've got the afternoon sun brightly shining on the side of my head here. And the old stump top. Was that rambling enough?